Three, two,
So
one.
now France.
Yeah, so this goes back to the EU elections,
Yep.
in which the far right gained seats in the EU, which is bizarre to think of it too, because you would assume the far right in European countries doesn't like the EU, right?
Well, you would assume,
Yeah.
but maybe they're like the Trojan horse at this point.
Yeah,
I
they're
don't.
to bring it down from the inside, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm far right, if I'm MAGA, whatever the fuck they want to call it over there, Nazis. I don't know. Yeah.
If you're a nationalist, you're not going to want an international monetary
Well, right.
system. Yeah.
So you go from the inside, and then you do what Marjorie Taylor Greene and those guys do, and you just scream and holler and not let anything happen.
Yeah.
Just rah, rah, and then you get
Complain about how much money you're making.
and then you get your country behind you, and then we're going to vote, and we're going to be out of the EU.
Yeah.
And now we're a fucking independent country, and our currency's not worth anything, and our trade is shit, and oh god, we don't have many natural resources here. Like, what are we?
Yeah.
Right.
And then,
and I'm not just talking about France. I'm just talking about any country in general.
yeah, I mean, yeah, most of the mainland countries, if they went back to a prior EU system, and like you said, if they're
We get
traded,
back to francs.
The livres
And Deutschmarks.
Krugerrand.
Yes.
But yeah, it's that you would there was a reason I forget what the predecessor to the EU was called, but there was a reason they built that post World War I, and then it gained steam after World War II, which is if you have open trade agreements, then every country can get what they need from each other.
Exactly.
If you shut all that down, then you're going to go back to
you're going to fight over shit.
The causes of World War II, which
Correct.
was like these countries were growing the populations were growing at such a rate that they were running out of natural resources. So what's the next thing? We'll conquer the next one.
I'm going to take them from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're going to liquidate your people.
Yeah.
And
it's easier to do one country at a time if there's no EU, because everybody else can go, meh, not my problem.
Yeah. And then
I've played plenty of Civ.
I'm curious too, how that would affect NATO as well, if all the NATO countries are on their own individual agreements and on their own independent.
I mean, apparently
that would
it's
be
just
bad.
as easy as saying I'm pulling out of the Paris Climate Accords. It's just that easy.
But
or changing whatever the fuck name he did to the Mexico United States trade.
The NAFTA,
Yeah.
But just just redid it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna rename it.
But it was perfect this time.
The best in history. Maybe in existence. I mean, many scholars say they've never seen anything quite like it.
I mean, after watching the debate and then seeing now, because of
who else, where else did they gain seats?
The
far right, I mean, in Europe.
Well, so right now, after the EU elections, naturally it scared quite a few leaders, but Macron was the first one to go, all right, no, we are going to have elections, like starting in July, and we're going to, and it's like he was trying to diminish the far right in France, which has been gaining. Not because of him, but just in general. So, and I guess his idea was if they had a snap election, and they could get the French people to diminish or just go ahead and get the far right out.
Right before the fire gets going.
Right,
and that backfired spectacularly.
Yeah, much like every year, California thinks it has prepared enough for wildfires, and no.
Or us and hurricanes.
Yeah, there's very little.
Just saying.
Yeah, but now France is holding 2 rounds of elections. So first round of elections, the far right gained more, have currently are looking at more seats.
Are they a true democracy?
Yeah.
So they have House and Senate and.
Well, yeah, I mean
but
yeah,
different, same but different.
Yeah, but theirs is they have a parliament. Or a parliamentary style government, but the president, sir, is more like our president.
Right. That's how I picture it.
They do have a prime minister, but the prime minister is more like the Speaker of the House to us. I mean, yeah.
Order!
yeah. So
that's who I assume is the Speaker of the House whenever I see that dude in Parliament.
That's true.
In England.
That's his role, yeah.
Right.
But our Speaker doesn't do that. Like, our Speaker is actually, head legislator of the ruling party. Which is, I mean, the same as what, any prime minister does as well. But yeah, normally other countries call Speaker of the House, it's just the person who speaks to the House.
Yeah, the loudest voice.
But, the
guy who speaks to the House. Oh, imagine that.
But so in this case is I don't know.
So did they have elections for everybody all the way? Well, I guess all like full elections for everything. Is that how they work?
I think I mean, in this case, what it sounds like is like they did like a primary,
right?
And then they're gonna hold another round of final elections. I think it's like a month away, but I'm guessing at this point it's not happening like tomorrow, because
that would be fun.
Now there is that period of time where, of course, like the far right can campaign and go, look at how well we did. We're clearly seeing eye to eye with most of the people in this country. But then you also have, in this case, would be anybody who's not on the far right. So not just Macron's party, but the other parties in France going.
They have multiple parties?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, you do coalition governments.
Oh.
But there's positives and negatives to it.
Yeah, I was you got more fingers in the pot, not everybody.
Right. So, I mean, in this case, it's still, I don't think it's a concern yet that the far, like I
haven't seen
like
them
Marie Le Pen's party is going to take over and like run the representative government.
She's going to be Napoleon.
I mean, from the talks of it, I mean, these people aren't even like that. I mean, Napoleon liked immigrants because he could just put them into his military.
Right. Yeah.
But
he was welcoming to all.
Yeah, as long as you were willing to die.
And on his side.
Sure, yeah.
Other than that,
he was an immigrant anyway, too. So
no fucking shit.
So I mean, we'll see. But initially, right now, it's looking like a horrible backfire. Like he gave them everything that they wanted to get a stronger foothold in, which
he underestimated that silent majority.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it. All right, so we got 6 minutes. This is where I'm going to crank.
But I mean, just to say, a lot of times, a lot of people here in the United States, predominantly like on the left, go, we need more European style governments. This is, I mean, I'm all for referendums and stuff like that, but to have. And I mean, same thing is happening in England.
I don't understand the whole snap election. Like that blows my fucking mind.
Is that to do something like that, like on a whim, whether that's the design of one person or political pressure from a particular group.
We're holding elections in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Go.
No, I don't like that. I don't like that idea.
No, not at all.
But
it's chaos. It's like a chaos menu at Bear's Restaurant. Saw what I did there, right?
Yeah, I like that.
You know what I'm going to talk about? So last week we talked about the 10 Commandments in Louisiana, right? In schools?
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going from France to a former French colony.
Yeah, that's the transition. And
nice.
And castration is involved. So, swear to Christ.
I know.
Swear to Christ.
So embarrassing.
They passed a bill to have people castrated for sexual crimes.
Only if the offended is under 14 years old, I think is what.
A minor.
Yeah.
But I also saw there was like some gray area for other
unless they're
things.
in high school, free game,
hey,
man.
She in 8th grade?
Open season, baby. Come on.
8th grade ain't high school? Yeah.
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
Castration.
Yeah. Because that works, right?
And the logic behind that is, man, you cut them balls off, they're not going to want to have sex with anything.
Yeah, because that's usually what it is with sexual predators, is that they just have a big boner,
right?
And they got to get rid of it.
Correct.
we're having a middle school discussion about a serious fucking topic. But yeah, I mean, like,
a serious fucking topic. Like they signed a motherfucking bill.
Yeah, and I read somewhere where the sponsor of the bill, who was a Democrat, by the way,
from here, right?
Yeah, one I guess.
I think it was one from here for some reason.
It wasn't my rep. I know that.
It's probably mine.
But when she was asked, is it fair to castrate individuals against their will, and she said, well, I don't really think it's against their will because, is it fair for somebody to be, raped or molested by one of these people? And you go,
absolutely not.
Yeah, no, but the state's not also sending them out to rape and molest these people.
Right.
And then the idea that it's just like these dudes are like super horny, and not that they have like a mental disorder or
Michael
a disease.
Michael Jackson just liked to look at buttholes. Little kids' buttholes. I'm sure all of these priests aren't horny. They just want to look at little boys.
Yeah, but you're making it into,
we get rid of that horny, everything's good.
Like it's like an extended puberty thing, and they're not addressing the mental part of it.
No,
which
there's no mental problems.
God forbid we do any of that anywhere. Like
there's no mental issues in this country.
No,
everybody's been indoctrinated.
Homeless people are just lazy. It's
Correct.
not like they have any issues outside of that.
Gay people, it's because their parents in books,
right? In TV and drag queen brunches.
Right. And you worship the devil for metal. If you listen to heavy metal, you're automatically a devil worshiper.
Yeah.
Or God forbid you don't go to church.
And if you're a sexual predator, it's just, I guess, because you're striking out on the dating apps. Is that it?
Yeah.
So they catch you, they're snipping it off. Now, I'm assuming it's chemical castration. It's not physical castration. I mean,
I hope it would be.
We're not making eunuchs all over the place.
Oh, see, you underestimate these cocksuckers.
I'm asking you.
What I want to know is, once they cut the dicks off, the balls, who's going to house those? There's going to be some Mike Johnson probably will want them all.
He'll have like a room. Like
yes.
It's like the governor for fucking...
Instead of heads
The Walking
and stuff,
Dead,
it'll be dicks floating in fucking chemicals. Yeah, and I'm talking dicks because...
But
we literally...
That won't work for him because he's going to have to tell his son every time he goes in that room because it's filled with pornography.
They check each other, though. Remember, they have an app where they can check each other.
Going into my special room. Dad.
Going to look at the dicks. I got to make room for the one that's coming today.
That got real dark.
Just like the SCOTUS thing earlier. Like, this is where my mind... That's what they want to do? Great. You fucking...
It's just... Yeah.
Barbarians.
That's not
the right word.
To be serious
Monsters.
about it, it's sad to me that's the solution they think is actually. I mean, it's the same as, well, we have the death penalty to scare people away from crime. Has it fucking worked? No,
absolutely not.
So you think like somebody who has a mental disorder and that targets young boys and girls is going to stop because you are threatening castration?
Here's another thing. 9 times out of 10, those sexual predators, when they get to jail, are getting fucking murdered anyway. Like, let's be honest. They're going to get fucking tortured.
Yeah.
It's a rule. I haven't been to prison.